What's up, my boy?
How's it going, man? Been a while.
How long has it been? A year plus? I think it was a year.
We always bump into each other, but exactly, and just don't remember it. We're like, hey, let's hang out next time. No.
Yeah, never. Damn, your shit be kind of boofing. Hold on, that should be good now. Right. Yeah, no, not your fault. It's the mic. I felt bad because I did one with you and I did one with Ariana, and both were victim of my ADHD filing system where I put one audio file and then one video file, and I didn't save the other audio file and the other video file, so I had video for you but no audio, and audio for her but no video. I'm like, I can't just drop.
You should have just dubbed it. Just guess what I was saying.
Just hire someone to do Spanish voice acting and
put just throw that in there.
Yeah, but how you been, man?
I'm good. It's still weird post grad in Charleston. Going to school here. I think
very weird.
I'm coming to a point where it's just I lived here, went to school here, and now I'm seeing college kids.
Yeah, it's
doing all the stuff I was doing.
It makes you feel old. I feel old being here, bro. I'm like, I need to get the fuck out of here, bro.
Yeah. I mean, I just figuring all that out because especially during the pandemic, we were just kind of thrown into, all right, figure out what to do next. Bro, everything was on hold.
I was doing Uber Eats during the pandemic. It was money back then, dude. It's not good money now.
No.
But I think peak pandemic, if I had done Uber consistently 40 hours a week, I would have been making $70,000 a year at the rate I was getting paid during the pandemic. And now it's comes down to after taxes $14-15 an hour. I'm like, ugh.
I mean, that's still better than a lot of jobs. When I worked Sperry here, $7.25 an hour to touch.
Sperry paid $7.25
to touch feet of tourists. Every job I've had to touch feet, and I hate it.
Would you rather touch feet or sell soap?
Ooh, do I get one of the tight V-necks?
with the furry slippers with the heel out?
Honestly, I might do the seal.
It's good soap for you.
It's from
Israel.
Oh God, they're so passionate about it though. Dude, I really respect it.
I'm so glad they got banned.
I forgot that happened.
I was that was a moral victory for the entire city.
Just no one acknowledged it, but we were all yeah, we wanted this.
Yeah, I think so. That and the fucking cruise ships. The fact that the cruise ships came back, I was like, ugh, all right, fine.
It's happening.
I think that was patient zero for Charleston's COVID. Was the 5,000 cruise ship people they just dumped off in April of 2020?
Hey, we're sorry.
Here you go.
Heart emoji.
Yeah, they're just put Black Lives Matter, just drops everyone off in the middle of a pandemic.
Thoughts and prayers.
That's literally what they did. I was like, that doesn't solve any.
We trust you. You'll figure it out. Everyone else, they just justified it as everyone else is figuring it out too. Okay.
Right along. It's like when the NFL puts Black Lives Matter, what is it? End racism on the back of their helmets. Yeah, that's gonna do it.
It's like the Penguins of Madagascar meme. We've done it, boys. Racism is no more.
6 to 9 months. I think that's whenever I see Madagascar, I think about it. I think about that. That is an iconic quote. But
nuclear. Okay, last one.
Yeah, man. But being in Charleston's, it's weird. This is my second year here post grad, and I feel old. I'm only 23, going on 24. I'm not old by any metric, but I'm
just feel it.
Yeah, I feel like I've aged 10 years in the past 4.
I mean, I feel
5, whatever it is.
Part of it, also this school in particular, you at least just us personality wise, just surging through college, feeling the need to do everything when it comes out, what's new, and just kind of rushed through.
Bombarding a new bar.
Yeah.
The minute it comes out, everyone's fucking flocking there, Share House and Uptown, all that bullshit.
And then there's a new one, Saints something.
Lost Saints, right down the street.
Yeah.
It's more of a pinky up kind of cocktail bar.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
But I do want to check it out. I have a list of all these places I want to go to that I haven't been.
Yeah.
Before I leave, and that's one of them.
It kind of gave me the vibe of if Cocktail Club got it together and decided to put some walls up.
But Cocktail Club's fun, but it's just so crowded
and it's slow.
It's really this big. Slow. Yeah, it's the size of my apartment. And it's
I mean, having the back patio area is nice.
That's dope. Dude, Ink has got a new upstairs thing going on. They're gonna open upstairs. It looked cool, but I heard it's not under code, but I could be wrong.
I went there when they first opened, and the upstairs wasn't open yet.
Yeah.
And it was just definitely not my vibe. It was just more bass thumping and stuff.
Yeah, they're trying to be an Uptown Trio alternative, but it's just not working.
I mean,
it's not for me at least.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to shit on anybody that likes Ink. I'm just not my scene.
Not for me.
I like getting my eardrums blown out by Trio and just part until 2 a.m.
I like where it's grimy and you touch something sticky and you're I should wash my hands, but you don't. Because you just know it's going to get sticky again.
Dude, I miss when AC's was not a college bar.
Yeah.
That shit was fun. It's still fun. Like I love going to AC's, rounding out the night there, just because it's so like, why am I here? But then you just black out. You're like, I like it.
Also, in case you want mozzarella sticks.
Dude, them chicken tenders.
Oh, slap.
Dude, oh my god, I was so tempted to get food there last night, but we ended up at Waffle House, which was, yeah. Waffle House is always just like
Supreme combo breakfast. What is it? All-star breakfast.
All-Star. I got an All-Star last night, and then I tasted their fake butter. I was like, I'm gonna puke. It's just like,
I can't believe it's not butter type.
It's just, it was like the consistency of like mucus, and I was just like, this.
You're gonna ruin it for me.
I was just like, I don't really want like bird chewed up food on my on my waffle. I just think about that video. Can I get a waffle? And
please get a waffle?
Those two waitresses are going WWF like SmackDown.
Eggs, anything they could find.
Spatula.
hot
yeah,
grill.
Man.
But yeah,
I think Charleston's just, my time here has expired.
Yeah.
I love like the city. I love what it has going on.
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't work for me beyond DJing, the beach, and Muay Thai.
Yeah.
And I'm like, while all that stuff is great, it's just like the day to day, like feeling like, I don't know. I don't like the repetitiveness that Charleston tends to fall, at least for the winter months. The summer months are great, like being able to go to the beach, the pool, blah blah blah, like make,
it changes everything.
100%. But like those 6 months where it's like September through March, it's like the beat. I'm like, I can't do it.
Are we going to the bars? No. Okay, that's it.
Yeah, it's like there's no house parties. There's not like, you can go to a brewery, but it's not like,
It's not the same.
no
one's wearing the big hats and the sundress. It's like, it's a different experience.
And I'm also just, I've come to the realization, I came to the realization last night, is that King Street is not for Charlestonians anymore, like people that live here full time. It's like definitely like for tourists and college kids. I'm like, which kind of sucks because I love King Street, but I'm like, it's just not my scene.
No, like especially when they like threw on all, I understood why, but when they threw all the cop cars down there too and just made everything so congested.
Oh my god, it's an eyesore.
It
like
is.
walking, like I'll walk back from AC's, I'm like, ugh, like blinded by that one light, whatever it is.
Yeah, they got either sirens going or something, and it's always just why, just let it go.
It's unnecessary, but I think, what was the reason they did it for? Like crime?
Muggings, like right off King Street.
Was that why?
Yeah.
I thought it was like a rape scenario.
There was some assault and muggings, and then they went from literally no, like, police on King Street to full force.
Yeah,
and I think they just should have scattered them.
Yeah, I don't know what the answer was to that. I think Charleston has a really shitty governing of how to.
Well, they can make money while giving off like public intoxication tickets.
Do they do that down here?
No, but they definitely could. I mean, the city's not above it.
They should honestly. That's facts. Their fucking parking meters are like, their parking meter maids are just Nazis, just reskinned,
Actually,
just upgraded. But like, I think Charleston would benefit massively from having an open container law.
they would.
I always want, at least on King Street. I'm like, that would be so lit to just be able to walk around bar to bar with a drink.
Like, hang out.
Yeah, I'm like, that would be just like, it would add another element of like griminess but fun to like the city, just be a little bit more unpredictable, and then that would justify having the cops like on the street. But I'm like, just to like walk to the bar, I'm like, I don't want to get like spotlighted
Caught up in all of it. I mean, I think one thing they should do is like on weekends, if they're gonna at night close it down anyway. And I know you need cars to get through, but like on weekends, just close it down. Let the restaurants put like tables out, like in the summer months. They could do a lot more business.
Yeah, dude. I was thinking, I don't know. Are you gonna go to what's it called?
Charleston Affair.
Yeah, it read my mind. I was thinking why don't for Charleston Affair they close down like how they do second Sunday, but do it the entire King Street, and like you can just go up and down from any like King Street bar or whatever.
That'd be a lot of fun. I think because they do it right now where they close campus and they have like
they close aspects of campus. I don't know if they close campus.
I mean campus.
Yeah, I never even understood kind of how the Charleston Affair works. I just know it's a thing.
I think they close off like from Calhoun, like oncoming Calhoun to Wentworth or whatever it is. That whole area is closed off.
Yeah, I want to go to it just to know, because I've always heard good things. I don't even understand what it is. I just think it's like a giant party, right?
I think it's just like a giant
just get dressed
soiree, shindig,
shindigging. So it's a good word for it. I feel like you just get dressed to the nines, go out and have a good time.
And then lose your tie, your watch, everything.
All your valuables, your dignity, your sanity.
As long as there's like shrimp or something I can eat. I heard there was like they like clean the I don't know what. I heard there was shrimp, so that's why I'm going.
Just live shrimp, not even cocktails. There's just shrimp.
They're entertainment shrimp, yeah.
Christ. So, now that you've been in Charleston for what, 5 years, 6 years?
5, God, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going on what is 2016 to
praying for you.
20, yeah. Oof. Do you want to stay here any longer, or like are you trying to branch out?
I'm trying to branch out. I think there were like aspects in the past were like really keeping me here, and now I've got a lease through mid-July. But I think coming from a larger city like near the DC area, definitely need to go back to something with more going on. Like you said, like we just said, if in the winter months, what is there to do other than go out? So I think after this, I'd either go out west or maybe back up north.
Don't go up north.
Yeah, well, north being DC, no
Okay.
further, yeah.
Because north for me, because I'm from New York, is New York. I'm like, bro, fuck New York. Like,
Yeah, no.
I love it. Like, special spot. I will never go back there. I'm like, I have no desire to get involved in any of that debauchery. I'm like, I can't do it. Big
Snuck it in.
Coney Island. Leave that shit in 2021.
All right, last one.
Bing bong.
Bing bong.
Can't do it.
I mean, for one thing, I don't like the cold anymore. Like, I'm soft.
I'm so soft. Like, my
It got-
Cuban jeans
today,
have taken
it was
over.
like 75 yesterday, and now I'm wearing a hoodie, and I hate it.
Dude, I was going to the gym in November, December, in some parts of January. It'd be like 30 degrees, and I'm like, I fucking hate my life.
Yeah.
Like, it's before the sun's up. I'm like, oh my god.
Just hating yourself.
Yeah, but the thing also too with Charleston is that it's not like there isn't a lot to do. There is. Don't get me wrong, but you have to be like, you have to have money to do like everything here.
Yeah.
Which like, it's back and forth. It really like you definitely have to have a hobby here. You have to have a good group of friends that are willing to do different things.
Like, be adventurous.
Right.
Yeah.
But like if you don't, then you're kind of trapped to go
Apartment and work.
Right.
Yeah.
Just you squeeze your hobby in there. You go to your typical bar, your rotation of whatever it is. Like mine's like sometimes I go to Uptown, sometimes I go to Revelry, sometimes I go to another bar, but it's always Trio and AC's. It's like where I frequent.
Yeah.
So I'm just like,
Well, once you find your spots, it's hard to.
it's hard to break.
Yeah.
For sure. But I'm like, and I think about it. It's like I could move to Austin and have the same issues, but I don't necessarily think I would, just because the culture there is a little bit different. Whereas like the culture here is going out. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
That's how I feel. It's like the culture in Charleston is you go out. You're on King Street. Like you have the
You
beach.
either go to Saltwater Cowboys, the beach, or King
right,
Street.
and like it's nice. It gets so repetitive.
It
I'm
does.
like, without like in 2020, if I didn't have like Muay Thai like during the pandemic, bro, I would have been suicidal or on coke like the rest of the city. Just
Got fat like me.
dude, I was chunky in 2020.
Oh Lord, he coming. But yeah.
Fucking Big Chungus vibe, bro.
Big Chungus.
I took a group picture once. I was like, damn, I got some love handles on me, bro. This is bad. I look like a fucking overcooked cookie. I was like, I can't be doing this shit, man.
Never forget the Snapchat you sent me, just all curled up. I look like an IHOP special, fell on the ground. I have that screen. I gotta get it. I gotta send it to you.
With like the quadruple neck.
Yes.
It's-
Yeah,
oh
you know
my
the one.
God. Dude, I think I don't know if you ever met my friend Megan, but she sent me a picture of me in 2020, and I was like, it was genuinely jarring how much younger I looked in college versus like now. I'm like,
Took a toll on us. Everything.
she's like you're the Obama of college. She's like, you went from like 15 to 25 in like the span of 4 years. I was like, oh.
Fair.
Yeah, which is honestly a good thing, because I looked like a genuine fetus. Like I looked like I was
A
just
little bit.
like hatched like 10 days before I attended college. I looked like mini Ben Shapiro. I was like, oh, that's not a good
That's
look.
not a good.
Dude, I had like
vibe
the
at
gelled
all.
over hair and just like this like the smirk. I was like, unfortunately, I was like convinced I was a Republican at the time.
Well, did you have a yarmulke too?
No,
Gotta
God, I'm not
admit that.
Jewish.
Yeah, well, I am. It's rough. I hate that I'm affiliated with him by default.
By default, a smart guy. I just don't agree with everything he says. But
Also, like, who asked? Shut up.
Oh man, throwback to being in ZBT and having to defend.
Which one?
Just being in ZBT, having to defend like Judaism on a constant basis.
Oh, you're in the Jewish frat. I mean, kind of.
Kind of.
We have a
Are
lot
you
of like
Jewish?
Episcopalians.
No.
But,
we
like,
were more non-Jewish than we were Jewish in that frat.
yeah, but like the Jews stood out.
Yeah.
Like us Jewish kids. Us Jewish kids.
Are you segregating in 2022?
No, I just gotta, just woke.
Putting up another Israeli wall?
God. So,
Bro, Netanyahu's like on your hit list now.
man, I'm just hiding. The Russians want me. The Israelis want me.
Oh Lord, Russia and Ukraine, man.
I'm just gonna not say anything because like, I'm not pro Russia,
No one is.
but oh God, no.
No.
But just like,
I just can't support a man that rides a horse shirtless in the mountains.
Brokeback Mountain. What are you talking?
Have you not seen those pictures of Putin like
Yeah.
riding a horse? That's what I'm talking
The
about.
one where he's photoshopped onto a bear.
No.
You seen that one?
No.
Oh, classic.
I've just seen the one where he has like the Speedo goggles on and he's on a horse, just like looking super goofy.
Oh yeah, he's got like a fat chain or something.
I'm like, this is the dude that we're letting run rampant right now.
I mean, does what he wants. Kind of respect it. Just nut job.
I do what I want. Lil Uzi once said, it's good words to live by. But dude, it is what I was gonna say is the whole Ukraine Russia thing is crazy to me because I'm watching it unfold on TikTok. Like I'm seeing like dudes like paratrooping like you Borshmitch. It's just like then they're like falling into like a war zone. I'm like, and then I'll watch them do like roboting like to some bass boosted song, and then it's some mentally
rockets going off in the background,
and then some mentally ill child. Then I see tanks blowing up its village. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
What's happening? Just this mashup of content.
Dude, TikTok makes me feel mentally ill. I'll get on there.
That's why I'm not on there.
Are you not?
I'm not, man.
Oh.
I get sent TikToks over text, and I'm just like, if you're putting that much effort into sending me a TikTok, like I'll watch it, but I won't react.
I'll send it like sometimes over Snap to multiple people if I think it's really funny, or I'll post it on my story. But other than that, I'm like, if you're not, I'm not gonna go out of my way to fucking send it.
No.
There are some gems though, like TikTok has formed a different level of meme culture.
Everything hurts. I mean, all the memes are just now, like it was either someone dancing, shaking their ass, or just like saying some conspiracy theory, and that was all I was seeing, and I was just like,
It's Cardi B or QAnon. Take your pick.
Fuck Cardi B. She belongs in prison. Actually,
dude, she was drugging dudes for a little bit and stealing their shit. But hey, bro, it's a come up, I guess. Get that bag.
No.
You don't like a little hate crime and
just a casual hate crime. There's no hate crimes in South Carolina, so.
Bro, you ever?
Seriously.
Are there really not?
Yeah. Could be wrong, but like that's the last thing I heard.
This state, man.
This state.
We have like the worst roads I've ever driven on. We have the worst education.
Yeah.
What else? We have no hate crimes.
No hate crimes. Can't buy liquor on Sundays or after 7.
Can't park for more than a half an hour on a meter.
Yeah.
Too many. We have an absurd amount of like Ohioans.
Why?
Genuine. Why?
Like I never met someone from Ohio until I came down to Charleston. It was like 2 months ago. I don't remember what it was. But
Really?
I think I was introduced to a mutual friend. They're like, "Oh, I'm from Toledo," and I was like,
"Who? Where?
Ohio?"
I didn't even know it was a city.
It might be Idaho. Honestly, I don't know. But they were definitely
Potato
Ohio,
country.
somewhere in Ohio.
It's honestly kind of embarrassing how little I know about like United States geography and like where the people are, like where states are. I'm like,
I mean, there's a lot of kids from like New Jersey, New York that come down here, and like Maryland area.
I can't, but I came here before it was cool. I came here in 2015.
Charleston's for all the kids that didn't get into Miami.
And that's a fucking tea, bro. I wanted to go to Miami so bad.
It's heartbreak.
I just wasn't Jewish enough, man.
They were still like, we'll let you come second semester. I don't want to wait.
Oof.
I had to get out of the house.
I did wait. I waited to come here instead of going to Bama, Auburn, or...
Roll Tide. I couldn't have seen you at Bama.
Dude, me at Bama, I would just... I don't know. I think about... I'm like, a football school in the South? Me?
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 Couldn't be me.
Who? Like, I barely survived as it is here, and this is a city school. I'm like, school just wasn't for me, bro.
No.
I was a business major. I barely skeeted by, like...
Oh, nobody...
Minimal effort.
Everyone that goes to Charleston is just, like, bare minimum effort.
It's like comms,
I'm
business,
or...
Yeah. There you go. It's like comms, business, or... what's the other one?
I mean, art management here is popular.
That's
or elementary education's one.
Also a big one.
But they actually try.
I feel like... Or psych. I feel like everyone was a psych major here.
Well, it's the next big thing.
Is it?
No. I don't know. People on
no.
social media are like, I'm a psych major. I'm like, okay. Read me. You get it wrong.
They're just fucking...
Like, do you have cards? How does it work?
Yeah, give me some tarots or tarots, whatever the fuck they are. Tarot readings.
Preaching to the wrong choir.
Give me some rocks to read and touch.
How are my chakras?
In line my chakras. I gotta reset this camera already. Good lord. Shit's so annoying. Hobble on over.
Just waddle. Hobble on down.
Kick that bitch. Alright, yeah, so... If you were to leave Charleston, we talked about, like, you'd go north-ish, like, mid-north. Do you specifically, like, have anything you want to do if you were to move? Or is it just, like, you would do what you're doing now?
I mean, I work remotely, and so that's gives me flexibility. I think I'm leaning more towards going out west somewhere. Because, like, I used to spend a lot of time when I was younger, like, going out west, either skiing or in the summers. So I'd go out to, like, Utah, and then maybe just live there for a bit, figure things out. I mean,
Utah is like
Park City.
number one.
Yeah.
Never been. I want to go.
Yeah, if you ever want to go skiing, let me know.
Yeah, I've been. The last time I tried. The last time I went snowboarding slash skiing
Yeah.
was 2014 in Vermont, I think. And I've been
Okay.
dying to go ever since. We had that little crew. Friends of mine would be like,
Sure.
"Oh, let's go fucking get a
bet it was
snowboarding
cold,
trip."
too.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it never materialized.
Yeah.
Like I kind of wish I did it instead of going like mountain weekend. Like mountain weekend's fun, but like it would have been way more dope to spend that money on like a snowboard trip.
Well, that's how like every guy's trip works. It's like, oh man, we should go on this trip to skiing, New Orleans, Vegas.
Yeah.
Take
Take
a
a
trip
trip
to
to
"Alright,
Miami. We can drive.
Tickets are only like 300 right now. Let's do it. Let me check with X, and then it just fizzles out.
Dude, that's how I'm going to a music festival this weekend, and
Mm-hmm.
planning is always a bitch.
But where's the festival?
Florida.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, I'm in Florida way more than I should be for someone who doesn't live there.
Yeah.
I'm there like 8 or 9 times a year.
That could be your next spot.
Miami, but that's the only place I would move to. I'm not moving anywhere outside of Miami.
Mm.
But it's all crypto boy land now.
Fuck yeah. Crypto.
Speaking of your expertise.
Dude, I don't know what blockchain is. That's my whole job. Like, I think about it like I like to compare, like, things are built on blockchain, and I like to compare new versus old. So, like, if things are
Gen 2 versus or Web 2 versus Web 3.
Yeah, and, like, if things were built on or blockchain now, what were they built on before? And I can't get a straight answer from anyone. Like, the experts that I work for, like, with my job, they're like, they can't give me an answer.
Know.
So, like, trying to get into all that whole sphere is just a nightmare.
I could definitely see it. I tried. I had my little toes dipped in the water for NFTs.
Mm.
Yeah, I almost said NTFs. That's not correct. I was like so into it for like 3 or 4 months. I was like, I'm gonna make so much money. I'm gonna flip this shit. I'm gonna make my own. I'm gonna make this one that's targeted with weed dispensaries and make it weed based and have like a whole business. Nope. As soon as I've like looked into the nitty gritty of like how that shit actually works, I was like, there's way too much inundated software for this.
Way too much work.
And I'm just like, well, the return is so unlikely.
You either make like $2 or a lot.
Yeah,
That's
it's
it.
like, I guess, more power to you. If you're really driven, it'll happen. But I was like, it's a lot of luck based stuff too.
Oh, yeah.
With having a successful NFT, I was just like looking at Hape Beast. I don't know if you know what those are.
Kinda, yeah.
I was really hype on those for a while. Then I was like, oh, I gotta get whitelisted and I gotta go through Discord. I'm like, you just can't buy this shit. Like,
No. Like, they make it so, and there's no clear guide to anything.
no,
Like,
none.
You have to go on YouTube, and then guys throw in a sponsorship, and you have no idea. So now you're watching the wrong video for 10 minutes.
Dude, I just love the one that's like the TikToks. TikTok has like a couple funny like industry like niches. One of them's like NFTs, and the other one's crypto, and like another one is like tech bros. And the NFT ones are like, teacher said I wouldn't be shit, and here I am at 19 making their salary, and they just showed like an OpenSea library that's not even theirs. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, they're like, you can make $3 to $4 grand just by holding your NFTs. I'm like,
Yeah. A lot of it's like,
I don't understand how though. I'm like,
I
how?
feel like most of these people are faking. Like, fake it till you make it, and they're not even making it.
The worst part is that it was all about decentralized like
Yep.
access to wealth, and now it's all celebrities owning like Bored Ape Yacht Club, and
Yeah.
I'm like, what the it just defeats the whole purpose
Well,
of.
that was the whole, like, when I told you I was trying to get, I used Fiverr, found this guy in Pakistan who made NFT images, and I was like, I want a penguin to look like the ape with the cigar, make him look tough. And he said, I'll send you the pictures, but just
How many
these,
did
like,
he make?
10,
For how much?
50.
That's not bad.
Yeah, but they were not what I wanted. I was like, make him look tough and serious. So one was like posing like that with like a smile, and I was like, make him look serious, and he added tears and made his beat go down. Still going like this, like.
Hey man, it's a hustle. He's like
stressy and depressy.
I tried doing Fiverr when I was Ubering and doing the podcast. I was like, I'm gonna be self-made, and I was gonna do Fiverr like marketing. Yeah, I was gonna offer my services on Fiverr for marketing, and I tried. And this one girl bought it, and she wanted like 15 hours of work a week for like $100 over the course of a month.
No.
I'm like, I'm not doing 60 hours for $100 total. You can kiss my ass. And she would be like, I want you to make like these marketing like materials, but like I don't have any stock images or anything for you to work with. You just have music, and you got to do this, that, and the other. I'm like, I'll do my best. And like I would send it back. She's like, don't do this. I'm like,
then why don't you do it?
I know. She's like, I clearly explained what I wanted. I'm like, well, you didn't, because then it would be what you wanted. Like I have the tools necessary to make what you want, but I don't understand what you want. She's like, She goes, I expect you to be able to create something that isn't bare minimum. I'm like, but
So no paycheck.
I still got paid, but I'm like,
Bruh.
I'm just like, I put in maybe 40 hours over the month for like $100, and I just was like, why did I just try and make you a music video and a whole marketing portfolio off of nothing? She's like, I have a general thematic idea, but I don't have any content. I need you to make all the content from ground up.
Make it appear.
Right.
Yeah.
She's like, I want all the content to be made by you just based off what I'm describing. I'm like, you have no like original like ideas or anything to show me? She's like, nope.
Was she like a self-employed?
She was like this supposedly somewhat successful artist. Like she was based in China, but she was English, but she had performed in like Western Europe and like all these other.
So all over the place then.
Yeah, but
like scattered.
It was just weird because like her Facebook looked like fake, like it didn't look real, but she was real. It was just the weirdest like clusterfuck. I'm like, I'm never doing this shit again.
Never doing Fiverr.
Like what I would do Fiverr again, but like it's just too messy.
Make sure you have like what you need up front.
Yeah. Like making content, like I would probably do like social media management because that's kind of fucking easy, and that's really what like that's a lot of the shit that I covered in my marketing degree was that. So I was like, I could probably do that, but I don't want social media to be my job. But there's such good money.
There's a lot of good money, and like it just depends on with social media because everyone from every industry field, like even if you're just getting to it as a company, like everyone needs social media to grow now.
Yeah, that's the biggest issue with this podcast for me is I don't fucking. My computer's so boof. Like as you can see, it says save space by optimizing storage because my disk is full. I'm like, I have no storage on this 128 gigabyte laptop. It's like I need to buy one, but like I'm like, why does my computer not store anything properly? It's like I have 7, maybe 8 podcasts saved on here, maybe 100 songs, and that takes up all 128 gigs of storage. I'm like, that doesn't add up.
There's definitely something there that like it's just hidden.
Right. No, there's something wrong. Like in my storage, it says other has like 80 gigs used.
It's just Apple making you buy a new computer.
No, 100, bro. But this thing sounds like this candle, but worse when it's like when it's rendering a
doing anything other than Chrome.
Literally, like when it's rendering a podcast, it literally sounds like it's just like so fucking loud, and it sounds like there's like a squirrel in the disc
actually firing on all cylinders.
Literally, bro. It's like it just sounds terrible.
Like diesel starting up in the cold.
Yeah, you definitely need a new computer, but that's one of the issues is that I want to sit down and make like TikTok and Instagram reels for the podcast, but my computer can do it. It is such an effort because it's like overheating, and I could maybe do it on my phone. I would just have to figure out how, but the time. So I'm just like, do I hire somebody to do it? Like, do I just bite the bullet, sit down for a couple hours
get
a
like
week?
a cheap computer that'll get it done.
Yeah, I mean, I have my work laptop, but I feel weird about like using that for like casual stuff. Like I have like Sid Meier's Civilization 6.
Love that game.
So fun. I have that on there, but that's like I play that like once a month. I was just like, they're not gonna get mad at me having one singular.
When you're really out of options, but
pillaging like barbarian civilizations on a 2D screen.
On God mode because I can't win. I always lose.
Dude, Civ 5. Okay, so I played Civ on Xbox 360, Xbox One for a while.
Jesus.
Yeah. With my 2 buddies from New Jersey, and then I played Civ 5 briefly on the PC, like through Discord with them in college, and we've been playing it like on and off the past couple weeks. That shit is low key addictive, but from Civ 5 to Civ 6, you could just like throw like arbitrary war around. Like you could pull a Vladimir Putin and just be like, war.
I want this. I need this. Please.
This is mine. But like in Civ 6, if you like go to war, they're like, oh, you're fucked. It's just like immediately you're just like, oh, goodbye. Just like goodbye civilization.
They also made it look childish a little bit.
No, 100%. You have to like spend your time doing the exact precise thing, like building a city, then getting settlers. I'm like, this is kind of cool. Like how you would properly build a civilization, I guess, is dope. And I'm like, I just want to kill everybody. Like
I just want to win.
I want to win. It's like
let me.
It's the American in me just to pillage everything.
Just the warmonger. Feel it in my blood.
Oh, Christ.
Always angry.
I feel like because of this Ukrainian-Russian war, the U.S. has somehow become like extremely like their selfishness has been exposed because everyone's like, we're gonna get drafted. It's like, no, we're fuck. Like
there hasn't been a draft since Vietnam, Korea.
Around there, I think the 50s and 60s, and I'm like, why are we worried about a draft in the U.S. when we have an abundance of like
The
reserves?
largest standing army.
Right, and it's not even something we're involved with yet, and something we might not even need to get involved with. But the U.S. is immediately like, we have a draft. I'm like, are we gonna have a draft? I'm like, you selfish pricks. I'm like, no.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and then I've that, but just like so much, like people believe, like obviously it's all jokes, but like people like stupid, like America, plenty of idiots. People like see this and they're like, oh my god, there's gonna be a draft. Like people who get all their news from TikTok, Instagram.
It hurt, bro. I lost hope in civilization when I saw this dude say. I don't even want to say like how he sounded because it would get me canceled. But he was like, I got the strawberry milk because it comes from strawberries instead of cows and it's vegan. So
It's true.
And I was like, I saw that he's like, it's pink, so it's from strawberries. It's not from cows. It's not dairy. And I was like, huh.
Wait till he finds out where chocolate milk comes from.
Chocolate Labs.
Oh. Oh no.
I hate it.
I want out. I want to leave.
The door's right there.
There.
Later.
Bye.
But dude, the fact that they want to lower the voting age to 16 and TikTok is also a thing.
No. I think you should have to pass a basic IQ test to vote. Seriously.
I don't even think an IQ test means much anymore.
I think just your high school transcript, even if you're like 80.
I go back and forth. I would like a current events test. Like the past four, like some general questions about, your country or like your whatever, where you're from, maybe some global politics, whatever, some basic, very basic stuff. And then like current events from like the past 4 to 10 years, like what has happened, what are your thoughts on?
Very vague, general.
Right. If it's like, if it's either regurgitated, I very much it's like a discussion board post. Like I really like what you said here when you talked about.
That's how you get through college.
Yeah. If you give me a discussion board answer to the political test to vote, you're out.
Yeah.
But if you give me some substance, then yeah, you can vote.
Okay.
That's what I.
Yeah,
that's what
I do
would
like
do.
that because just.
I'm not trying to have like modern Jim Crow.
No.
Like, because not a lot of people there are people that are smart and don't have high school diplomas.
Yeah.
And there are people that are really stupid and get college degrees and doctorates. I'm like, maybe like, I still meet people now my age. I'm like, you graduated college? How? Like, I'm just like, what? Like, I'll listen to someone speak. I'm like, lights on and no one's home. Like, there's
Harvard of the South.
Bruh.
Yeah.
I get tight thinking about this example. The dumbest person I've ever met in my life was this guy. It was Easter Sunday. I was driving home. I think it was sophomore, junior year of college.
Okay.
And I was picking up my car at the Battery because that's where I was parked. It was definitely sophomore year. This dude, the little corner on the Battery that like it's like the point with the statue.
Yeah.
Points towards Fort Sumter.
The Daughters of the Confederacy statue.
Yeah. There were like 5 or 6 dudes all Confederate flagged up in like the Confederate like uniforms on Easter Sunday, and I'm like,
big cosplay guys.
I'm like, did Jesus die for slavery? I'm like, did I miss something here? Like,
it's just I've never seen people more proud of their side losing a war. Seriously, like why are you proud of losing culture?
Dude, I've never seen someone so proud of L culture. It's just like
I'm a Washington sports fan. That's different. Like we lose, that's what we do. I accept it, but like
the Washington football team,
the Commodore, not Commodores, the Commanders.
The Commanders.
They're being called the Commies.
The Commies, hell yeah. But yeah, dude, L. That whole culture is L. And I got out in my car and spoke to this dude. I'm like 20 years old, and I'm like, I'm from New York. I'm not like I had been in the South for like 3 or 4 years at the time. I'm like, I didn't really understand. I was like, what are you doing? I got out and talked to this guy. I was like, Jesus didn't die for racism, buddy. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, get the fuck out of here, you. He called me, I think, a gay slur. I was like,
nice, classy.
I was just like, that doesn't prove anything. I'm like, first of all, that kind of defeats what you're talking about because typically your people are the closeted gay ones. But anyway,
Yeah,
because it's true. Confederates, people. I've met a lot of gay Confederates in the South.
they just never tell me.
No, you see it at the bar. Like at like rec room and stuff like that. I've seen some gay Confederates, but I spoke to this dude and he called me like a gay slur. I'm like, first of all, it doesn't accomplish anything. I'm like, you're just being derogatory by someone challenging your belief system. Second of all, what that didn't prove anything.
That didn't answer my question.
Right, didn't answer my
No
question. It didn't
correlation.
give you any like leverage as to why I should believe. Like I just wanted to have like a conversation with this guy. I was like, why do you believe that what you're doing is right? I'm like, Jesus did not die for racism. There's no correlation between Easter Sunday and the Confederacy. He's like, we are standing for our like. I'm like, bro.
Great Grandpa Billy.
For your meth farm and slaves. I'm like, hell yeah, that's a life I wish I lived.
Oh, I mean, I can like understand like appreciating the culture of where you're from, but like
slavery is not
just when you break it down, like the argument that I've had with like Southerners who are
states'
like,
rights.
States' rights to what?
Exactly. I'm like,
Exactly.
to pick cotton. Who's picking cotton?
To enforce slavery, like that's what it
comes down to every time. They're like, but it was states' rights. I'm like, but human rights. They're like, but states' rights. I'm like, but human rights. Like some basics here. And I'm just like, half the time the funniest part is like these people can't even fucking read or write, and like there's just like basic literate. I'm generalizing and I sound like an asshole. But I'm like, I've met at least 50 people in my life that are staunch like Confederates, and I've like, it's like talking to a brick wall. I'm like, this is not taught. This is not like, you're not born with this shit. This is like taught. Like, this is ingrained. You're brainwashed. Because I like, there's nothing registers talking about those kind of people.
Well, I also think just in recent years, I think, I'm not, by no means am I saying like Trump supporters are racist. They're all racist, like, but I think recently like Trump obviously did way better in the South just because of what he would say and whatnot. And I think recently there's definitely been a resurgence of like just blatant intolerance, and it gets often it's just associated with people from the South, people that like, oh, you voted for Trump, you're automatically a racist. And I think
the polarization.
Yeah, well, growing up in Maryland, like it's spread. Like I knew kids that like lean conservative, fine, and then started back when Trump won his election, just they were just talking about like, oh, I voted for Trump for this, and I noticed it get more extreme over time.
Yeah, and and
now like it became to a point where it became cool amongst a certain group of like, not necessarily frat bros, but the type of people I'm talking about.
Yeah, the old row people.
Yeah,
people that,
old row.
I listen. I bought into it. I was like, a dumb college dude that kind of just was like, Keg Stan Kavanaugh. Like I had that shirt or whatever. God, I had that shirt, but then I like was able to start thinking on my own, and I realized, oh, politics isn't like supposed to be this serious. It's supposed to be like something that represents me, but isn't me and my ideas entirely. And then, even the more I went down the rabbit hole, the more drugs I did, and the more people I talked to, I was just like, so politics is kind of a joke in this country. Like we don't, and just in the world in general, we really don't get shit done.
Well, they make it so black and white.
It doesn't. It's a fucking gray scale, and it's like it's not supposed to be right versus left, red versus blue. It's not supposed to be as polarizing and like
hypocritical and
clear cut.
disgusting.
But the real issue is it's like money and corruption. I'm like, they're all playing the same team. Like maybe 5% are like good people. Like for me, Tulsi Gabbard, Bernie, they stand out to me as good people. I don't necessarily agree with them on like a lot of their politics, but I think they get the core values like correct.
They're not there just to win re-election and get the next sponsorship.
And look what happens to them. They get tossed from their platform.
Exactly.
Bernie gets shafted by the same means they cried wolf about Trump winning in 2016. I'm like, okay, go fuck yourself, guys. Like, prove me wrong. But being down here changed my worldview so much, because I was like, oh, y'all like live and die by politics down here. It isn't like it's weird in the north too, but down in the south it's fucking weird.
It's
weird.
And it's also weird because we're in a pocket. It's just cities in general lean blue, just because
not this one.
I know, that's what I'm saying. We're in a weird kind of pocket where there's like all the students here definitely lean left, I would say. Not all, but like
I'd say 60-40, honestly. I'd say it's like 60-40 blue, red.
It also depends who like you associate with.
Yeah.
Like, but I think it's just like a weird area where you can just sometimes, I guess the people that lean right are quieter here than they were back home.
And in college I leaned right, but I was never like, quiet about it. But it was definitely, I felt a pressure, not a pressure, but I felt a constant challenge, like to my like innate, I don't know, the way I leaned.
Yeah.
But I was just like, I always felt like a little bit on like the fence. I was like, oh.
Like is it safe to say what I want now?
And like I was always afraid I'm gonna get labeled a racist, like just for like saying something. I was like, let me just keep my mouth shut. But I think that's what like, I don't know, it like festers, like that whole cancel culture, polarization, like painting people like the wrong way. It like makes it feel like you can't say anything.
Yeah, well, that's like cancel culture in general, like I don't know if it was just Joe Rogan or someone else, but like I was listening to a podcast and they were just like, cancel culture is great for like people that do horrible, terrible things, but like if someone 30 years ago said something like an old, I don't know, like just as an example, someone 30 years ago in a school play wore, an offensive costume and like could be pinned as cultural appropriation.
Right, but it's contextual.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like people often jump the gun and forget, like, first of all, things were different 30 years ago, hundreds. Like if you're canceling like a founding father or something, I think there's a lot of that.
The whole
just not knowing the full context of a situation, and I'm in no way I'm like saying like don't cancel people. I think
some people deserve to be canceled.
Fully aware of the context and know that like, it's terrible. We now realize things back in the 1700s terrible, but back then that was the norm. That was just how. And I'm not saying it's right, but
and also speech is not violence.
And like just be aware of the context before you just like, oh, this person did
fire
one
off.
thing. Yeah. So I think canceling people is dangerous because then if all that bad publicity, all the bad things that happened in the past, if we just shove it away,
it's important though.
Yeah, we need to remember it.
Right. It's like especially the founding father thing, like knocking. Like I was like, I don't really know if we should get rid of the John C. Calhoun statue. I'm like, I understand why we did it, and like I'm not bothered by it, but it's like you kind of leer down a dangerous path, and you forget why. You kind of forget why we took it down, like why it's like significant to begin with. Like you lose the opportunity to obviously learn from the past mistakes, but it erases something that's very like.
It was a part of our history, and like there's a reason it was so.
Right.
There's a reason this person got a statue built.
Right.
Now we can see that what they did was terrible.
Right. It's like Christopher Columbus. It's like that dude's a piece of shit, but
we need to acknowledge what he did.
Right. Like the dude came to this country and like, yes, he raped and pillaged and enslaved people. Terrible. No one's denying that. But like, still did something pretty fucking landmark level worthy. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. We are in strange times.
We are.
I don't even want to think. The best example for me, besides the Confederate dude, was I spoke to someone who's on the complete opposite side of the spectrum politically, and I was like questioning Joe Biden's mental capacity. This is like during the 2020 elections. I was like, he kind of seems compromised to me. Like he might have dementia or something, and I got called a racist. I was like, I was like, can you explain? They're like, because you want to vote for Trump. I'm like,
Did I say that first of all?
I was like, how did you get there? I'm like, just because I think Joe Biden has a mental, I don't know what you would call it, disability.
He's not necessarily all there.
I don't think he's mentally apt the way he was 15, 20 years ago.
No, yeah.
Like when he was VP, he was much more sharp. Even then, he said some sus shit. But
2008, weird time.
Well, he did say Obama was the first intelligent, clean black person in office, and I was like,
yeah, that's oh, Joe.
Yeah, he rough. Dog face pony soldier. Rough. Oh, dude. I was like, what does me thinking he's mentally compromised make me a racist? Like, if I was racist, I wouldn't live with, people that are opposite skin color of me, or associate with anyone that looks different from me, or treat people openly shitty. Like,
right. Yeah.
They're like, you just want to vote for Trump and you're a racist that's closeted. I'm like, all right, this conversation is going nowhere.
This was fun. Glad we did this.
Right. Yeah. I'm just like, but I'm just the politics, man. I'm just so over it. Like, I'm so over everyone identifying with politics. I'm like, you have been duped.
Yeah.
Duped. I'm like, if you take that so seriously that you can't like associate with someone who has a different opinion, or that you can't hear a different opinion from yours, and you get like irritated by it, like you want cancel culture, or you want to call them a slur, or you want to, I'm just like, I'm not gonna waste my energy. I'm just gonna move on.
Yep. And I think part of that, I don't know about for you, but me, I grew up in a very liberal part of the country, and then coming down here,
DC's very liberal.
I went in with like an open mindset of just like, 3 of my freshman roommates, which was a whole lot there. But one of my best friends was like had a Trump poster when I walked in. I was like, word, we're gonna have fun, and we did.
Spicy.
Yeah, we became best friends, and then just like he became more central, and I became a little more conservative on certain topics.
Most people fall in the middle, and most people are not diehard anything. What they want is the ability to speak their mind, to provide food for their family, and to maybe not have to worry about an invasion on their land. That's basically what it comes down to. Like the rest is just kind of,
Well, that's why this system's so broken, because like countries everywhere you have multiple. We just have
it is and it
red.
isn't.
Because like you said, so many people are central, but there's certain topics they feel strongly about.
The system is designed very well. However, the people in power are the problem.
Yeah.
That's for me. I think the system is designed really well because there's no other system, in my opinion, that represents people to the same extent that ours does. But the problem is getting the right people in those positions of power and removing those that don't belong there and making sure that corruption doesn't occur. That's where the water's muddy, but it's also, George Washington had, a great quote. He said, this country is meant for immoral and religious people. And he didn't necessarily mean religious, but he meant like deity fearing, as in like people are not the rulers. Like you are not any better than the other person kind of thing.
You're all
like,
the same level.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think people have definitely lost sight of that in the past 50 years. Like, JFK got off by the CIA and just there's some powerful figures out there.
There are. I mean, dude,
Jeffrey Epstein gone.
Well, that's a whole lot to unpack there.
Dude, the fact that happened in broad daylight and we're just all like,
yeah, this is fine.
Move along.
Well, that's the thing. Like things, and I think we're jumping around a lot, but I think part of it is just like
conversation.
The attention span people have for like anything.
This is a great example.
And that's like why TikTok's perfect for one thing, because it holds your span for that much. And then when you see TikToks about Jeffrey Epstein and theories, like as soon as that 30 seconds is over, you're like, I have what I need.
Dopamine
I know what's
rush.
up. And yeah, exactly.
Dude, I can definitely tell you with confidence that my attention span, it was already garbage. Like I'm definitely like almost like my ADHD could probably register as like diet autism at this point, but like
zero.
I'm telling you, my attention span on TikTok. I will do the dishes, put TikTok down, and just let the same TikTok play over and over as I'm doing dishes. And I feel like a mental patient. I'm like, I'm going insane. And I have to scroll past to the next TikTok and then keep doing dishes. I'm like, why don't I just close the fucking phone and like be in peace and quiet?
Not do anything else.
I know, I can't do it. I have to have some sort of
background noise,
stimulant.
I get that.
But like TikTok is the worst because I'll just be like watching a TikTok over and over in like the background. And it's like Material Girl over and over in the.
Please don't say that. I'm not on TikTok for that reason. And everyone I know
Material Girl
is saying Nar, Material Girl,
Nar,
and just tomato. That one I like, but like
boo! Oh my God, tomato, tomato. Speaking of pop culture and TikTok, do you watch Euphoria?
Oh yeah, I'm so excited for tonight, man.
Bro, we about to watch. Okay, they poured. So imagine you have 2 jugs of water. Or like 2 cups, and you have to put like water. I saw this meme. They have Sydney Sweeney's tits and plot. They put
just like
whoosh, just like
exactly.
the rest,
dump,
just right into her jugs, man. I was like, there's like barely any development this season in terms of like, I think Rue and Cassie are like the focal points of this season, and then they just kind of like ping pong around everyone's like life that revolves around.
That's what I'm saying. Like, because season 1 it was like Kat and then,
everyone had an equal amount of like shit. It was like obviously the focal point was Rue and Jules, but everyone else had an important role in their story. Whereas this one, it's like, what are we doing here? I'm like, what's going on? Like, we had last week
Dominic Fike.
Huh?
That's it. Dominic Fike. That's the season.
I wanted Dominic Fike's character to be like my favorite. He sucks.
He's kind of lame.
Like, not Dominic Fike, that dude's dope, but his character fucking like, I hate him now because of what he did. But just narratively, the fucking season makes no sense. I'm like, we have Cal just dipping out,
pissing on the floor.
But that shit was hilarious.
I respected that.
He's like, son, I am a what do you say, a bisexual faggot pig or whatever he called himself.
Something like very just like what?
Very like jarring. And then he's like, but you, sir, have the most bizarre porn collection. And he's like, my jaw hit the floor. 8 people gangbanging and pissing on one girl. I was like, oh my God. That was my favorite scene from the season. Yeah. But what the fuck? Like, where has anything in this season gone?
Well, I think it's all HBO does this a lot, where they just like build and build and build, and you're like, poof, this is gonna be big, and then they wait to the last episode, and they're gonna leave us on a cliffhanger. I know that.
But the problem is, like, this season they've set up so much, but nothing's been answered. I'm like,
that's what I'm saying. Like, it's better. It's gonna be 59-minute episode I saw, which like
it's
you can do a lot or a little.
Well, we're gonna watch.
If they do a lot, it's gonna be rushed.
Yeah, they totally ixnayed Kat's parts. Like, she got the fucking boot, essentially.
I didn't like how she treated her boy.
No, but apparently she had beef. I heard this is fake too, but apparently she had beef with the director on her character.
Oh.
I don't know if that's true because I heard that's false, but it would make sense because like she went from being like this like super empowered like, which was weird. That's S&M empowered girl in like the first season.
Yeah.
She was wearing like red like whatever in the mall. I was like, that's a dope shot, whatever.
Yeah.
But then now she's just like having fantasies of Khal Drogo fucking her after.
Yeah.
Her and then like
and
all
you're just like, what happened?
Like what the fuck is going on? And like the whole play is cool, but like it makes no sense. We jumped from Rue doing heroin to the backstory of Fez to Rue doing heroin to now this Elliot character and Jules being a thing, and then Rue also being involved in a drug. I'm just like, there's so many moving parts that are just everywhere, and we're gonna end up with this play being like the
Right.
precipice. Like,
Well, I think it's
I don't know, man.
maybe there'll be like Cal will come storming in, or Cal, like everyone's gonna get up on stage and explode. That'd be cool.
Did you think Cal and Nate were gonna fuck at the end of season 1?
Oh man,
Bro, you know what scene I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That scene made me genuinely uncomfortable.
Very.
I was like
what's happening?
and then they had the dream sequence, and I was like, oh
okay.
no.
But I think to your point, like if nothing's happened this season, I don't know. I just got frustrated with Rue as a character after a while because like I know that's the life of a drug
She's an
addict.
addict,
I
yeah.
know, yeah, and I can understand that. I appreciate that, but I think just as a viewer, you get frustrated with the constant, and that's so many people's actual reality. But it's like, as a viewer, I think HBO probably started realizing like, okay, we need to do something different because like she got clean in the most. Well, she's at the play and she looks better.
Right.
You know, so like, but they didn't.
She looks she looks balanced or stable
like
compared
2 episodes ago, she was running through the street, and I don't think there was enough
with liver failure.
Yeah, well, because we've seen her so much when she was like
busted
high, like just going through shit, but we didn't, and like the struggles of her family, but we didn't see a lot of just how she got clean. She just suffered through it.
Right, and they kind of did a better job this season. Like that episode was great where she's just on the run the entire time.
Yeah.
I felt like that was the most emotionally like heavy episode, and then the one after too with Nate's whole like
everything.
Yeah. Those two are good episodes, but my problem was we just keep jumping from like plot point to plot point, and then all of a sudden everyone's at the play together and they're okay, like sitting down in a play. I'm like, Nate literally just like almost killed, or like Nate had a gun to Maddie's head and she's just casually sitting 5 rows away from him,
just like, oh, this is fine.
Right. And then Lexi and Cassie's mom
is great.
Bro, she's one of my favorites, but she's sitting there, but her daughter's also there she kicked her out. I'm like, there's just too much like narratives that don't make sense going into the
that
finale.
Wasn't touched on.
Right.
Like, or the lines weren't connected.
Right, like Cal gone. That's
what I'm thinking. He's got to come back this episode.
I don't think he will. I don't think he'll come back this season.
Well, he'll be the cliffhanger at the end of this episode, maybe.
Maybe. I think
that'd be cool.
I think Fez or Ashley's gonna die, unfortunately. Damn. Or Faye. One of those three is gonna die. I want to see
Faye go.
Bro, her lips.
What's that Pokemon with the fish?
Wait.
I never got into all that.
Hold on. I know it. Fuck. What is it?
I only know Squirtle.
Magikarp?
But that sounds right. I think the fish. Yeah.
So many, though. I think it's Magikarp. But yeah, she looks like she got her lips slammed in a car door.
She looks like she did the Kylie Jenner lip challenge.
Yeah. Do you know how she
fell asleep with a cup on?
You know how she's famous?
No.
She's a porn star.
Oh, word.
Yeah. Okay. I had seen one of her videos before. I was like,
really? She is?
Yeah.
Faye.
Yeah. She did a Euphoria video, too, before season 2, which makes me think Sam Levinson was, like, watching it.
Oh, yeah. No,
that dude's a creep.
No doubt.
But you see the videos, it's like, you know how Freud is like all men are like attracted to like a reincarnation of their mother or something like
Oedipus
that.
complex and all that.
Yeah. Someone's like, you know, Freud, you were a son of a bitch, but you keep proving us wrong in your grave. And it's just, they show Sam Levinson, his mom, and Sydney Sweeney, and she's like a spitting image of his mom. I'm like, there's also that scene with Maddie and the rich woman in the pool. Apparently, the rich woman was supposed to be completely naked. I'm like,
yeah, no, because there was a lot this year about like, because Sydney Sweeney was just like, I don't like being naked, and the other stars,
right,
like started saying, you know, we don't. It didn't get as much publicity,
right,
but like I know they wrote out more nudity,
right,
or like topless scenes.
But I'm like, not everything needs to be, bro. Like, first of all, they're teenagers. Like, I understand the teenagers fuck and do drugs. Like, of course.
Not in my Episcopal high school. God forbid.
Really? I thought you were Jewish.
Try it. culturally Jewish, bro.
It's culturally Jewish. I think it's so much hyperbole. It's just like to the nth degree. It's like I don't need to see Rue getting her shit ate out. I'm like the way that I was like kind of jarring, and also like season 1, I didn't need to watch Jules get impaled by Cal. I was like,
I think they could have just a lot of these scenes where they go too deep in, where they spend 3-4 minutes.
No pun intended.
Yeah. Oh, I hate it. But like that's other time they could use to like had valuable, like we said, connect the dots. But instead they're like, no, let's show Cal with his thumb,
Sydney Sweeney
shoving.
Dude, what did he say?
Wider.
Just
like,
just the whole parallel they did last week with Nate and his fantasies with Cassie, and then Jules and that dream sequence. I was like, that shit's crazy. It was a cool shot, but I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, this made me feel so uncomfortable. But I just hope that if they do a season 3, they do it right. Like no over sexualization. It's something I understand. They're not sexualizing teenagers. They do this. I understand. It is way too much for me personally to constantly see these teenage people getting fucking railed and like getting absolutely blasted off drugs. I'm like, the addiction thing is easier for me to watch than them getting like super sexual.
Like at a certain point, I was just like, okay, like you said, high schools, you fuck, you do drugs, like, but at a certain point, they took it too far.
Focal point.
Yeah.
I'm like Sydney Sweeney, like I get it, like she's gorgeous, but like I don't need to see her tits every episode.
There's more to her than just that.
Right.
Yeah.
Like she's a good actress. Like the end of she had a like I, Tonya
the
moment.
Oklahoma scene.
Yeah, where she's in the bathroom, she's like freaking out though.
Bitch, you better be joking.
But no, for real, like when she's in the bathroom at the end of the last episode, where she's like
going insane,
like smiling,
Joker vibes.
Right. I was like, that's a great scene.
She's a great actress.
Right, and I think just not showing her jugs all the time.